Welcome everyone to our podcast, the Drops of Wisdom section, and we are in our episode 6. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the book Hardwiring Happiness by Rick Hanson. So, to start the discussion and the dialogue about this book, we are going to answer one question that is very important for this topic. Do you want to rewire your brain to feel happier? It is more than the chemistry that we have inside of our brain. Rewiring our brain starts developing new pathways to feel fulfilled, to feel grateful, to feel empowered, to feel motivated, and as a consequence, to feel happier and enjoy more the simplest things of life, which starts with designing very small but meaningful actions that inspire your life to avoid the toxicity. It is your choice every time you pick a positive or a negative stimuli to start and to end your days. So you have to decide, you have to make your will stronger to start picking up the best thoughts, the best kind of energy that you want to inspire your days with. And to start also this discussion, I pick a quote from the book which says that in the morning, if you just open the window and you breathe some fresh air, you will let the positive input to sink into you. Nature is going to give you. Consciously, you can start the day with that happiness and allow yourself to keep that frame of mind throughout the day. So use nature to inspire those kind of thoughts. Use the positive things around your life to start priming your brain toward the positive outcome. When we were growing up, we didn't probably get along with everyone to fit in. And that was some of the bad experiences that trigger stronger and more memorable emotions than the good ones. Why? Because we were primed since our ancestors to have a brain that is biased towards the negativity, towards the things that we need to face, toward the threats. So we usually fixate our minds on the negative things or on the negative memories. That's why our brain goes to that part of the memory, of the emotion, and then the dialogue begins. But we can change that because our brains have neuroplasticity. Since that time of the humanity, we have always been drawn to the negative information, but we can overcome this by learning how to create a happy brain. All that said, our tendency to focus on happy or sad thoughts depends on certain regions of the brain. Some people have what scientists call a happy amygdala. The amygdala that is being part of the brain that is in charge of the emotional responses. But research shows that a happy amygdala heavily stimulates the nucleus accumbens, which is the part of the brain that will wake up your prefrontal cortex and help you to fulfill your goals. So if we keep linking these regions of the brain, the amygdala, if we keep choosing the best thoughts, if we keep inspiring ourselves with nature instead of social media or toxic news, then we are rewiring the pathways of the brain and we are priming our brain towards the positive, not towards the negative. People that have a happy amygdala tend to be more optimistic. They focus on the opportunities rather than the difficulties, and in turn these positive thoughts can strengthen our desire to take action. to achieve our goals, and thereby creating happy experiences and generating a positive feedback loop in the brain, which is similar to the negative loop that we can create by ruminating on certain thoughts. But now we are choosing the positive, now we are priming our brain towards gratitude, towards nature, towards things that we can encounter in our days, and envision and direct our attention towards the positive mindset. Whether we are facing something very stressful in our lives, or we are just feeling sad for something trivial, the same circuits are activated, and this is very important because you can suffer an extremely sad experience or dangerous experience, and many of the regions of your brain that will be primed are the same ones that can be primed just by looking to news. So be careful what you choose for, mainly in the morning, because you are just waking up, you are fresh, your brain is fresh with new thoughts that you can feed to it, instead of responding to the past frequency of thoughts that you have. This means that if we are stressed too much and we pick the negative circumstances and we start our days with these social platforms or with news or with toxicity, pretty much all the time we are going to be stressed, worrying about certain things such as money, job, politics, relationships, anything, because that's what we are feeding our brains with. This negative input will activate the fight or flight response, and the stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol will be released into the bloodstream, and your energy resources will be drained early in the morning. That's why you need that cup of coffee in the morning, because you are already drained, because you are already primed towards the negativity and your energy has been taken out. So now you need to feed certain things in your body, such as toxic food, to prepare you to react quickly, because you are under a threat already. So that's why naturally your mind will fall into an anxious state, and that will create the toxic link of being sad or depressed. That will prime your attention, you won't be able to concentrate, and you will fall behind in many of the things that you have to do. So that's a sequence. One sequence to interfere with that pattern and to start creating the happy brain is to start a Goodyear box. And that can be designed as just simple post-its or notes or digital notes in your phone that you can start creating every day at the beginning and at the end of the days, to think at least one positive thing that happened or that you want to happen. Write it down on a piece of paper and place it in that box or notebook or your device. The main point here is that you take action, that you either write by hand or write in your phone and prime your mind to focus on that positivity. That will create a train of thought to recognize more reasons to be happy, and at the end of the days you will create more happiness. At the end of the weeks you are going to create weeks that have more happy moments, and at the end of every month you will have a lot of memories that are positive. So that will reflect on all the good experiences you have. Now you can go back in time and watch and relive those experiences and rewire those pathways. Another helpful practice that you can start is each morning taking some time to focus on something that it is positive in your life in the moment. It may be as simple as acknowledging the fact that you are in good health, that you are waking up, to a new day, that you are in a safe place, that's enough to start the gratitude loop and the positivity loop that we want to create. Well, positive thinking isn't a new idea, and we already talked about last week about that. Recent research suggests that we can rewire our brain's negativity bias into a positivity one by strengthening those positive experiences, by focusing our minds in the positive ones. So you can try one exercise. Bring up a memory of eating your favorite food. It might be as extravagant as you want, and it can be whatever it is, breakfast, meal, or dinner. So think about something simple, for example, vanilla ice cream, and try to imagine the pleasure that the food gave you. To further strengthen those positive experiences, change your attitude and make time for good things. That means during the day, try to at least dedicate yourself 15 to half an hour of doing something that really you enjoy. Whether it is a hobby, whether it is something that you find yourself being stimulated by, and try to talk with someone that also gives you a positive outlook of the things that are happening. You know the people that you can talk with, and you know why you need those moments and experiences to create these positive loops. Those are the advices. We are not at the disposition or will of the news or the toxicity that might still be on the environment. We can detach from those things, and we can regain control of our minds, of our brain, and we can rewire the pathways and start rewriting our stories. This is a year that it is still in the beginning, that it can change, that it cannot be the same as the other two that have passed. We have gave up a lot of control towards those things that are happening, but we can reclaim our minds and perception, and we can write a new story from here up to whatever point in time we want. Thank you very much for listening, for paying attention. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we will listen to each other on our next episode. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.